Hello! Okay guys, as promised, I've been wanting to do a cooking video, but on the real, I haven't really had a lot of time. And I don't know if you guys know, but editing a video takes so long. And especially if you're like, pay attention to details and music and all that kind of stuff, forget it, it's over. So, I was gonna make my Chipotle shrimp enchiladas on Instagram and Snapchat like I've been doing lately, but turns out we switched phones. My phone service at home sucks bad. So until we get it fixed, this is the best thing I can think of because I do not want to edit. This is just on the real. This is what my kitchen looks like. This is what I look like on Sunday. I ain't sugarcoating it. Okay, maybe I put some gloss on for you, okay? But that's about it. So I'm gonna turn the camera to the food so I can show you what goes in it, and I'll just talk it over along the way, and I'll probably turn down the music because I have the music up. So here it is. It's just me and Jimmy this morning. Okay, so yeah, let me turn down the music. I know you can probably barely hear the music, but I can, and it bothers me. So we are going to use bell pepper, spinach, onion. You need a can of Chipotle peppers, of course some shrimp, some butter. You're just gonna literally use a little chunk of butter, some whipping cream, of course. Can't make enchiladas without tortillas, right? And then I'm gonna use a sweet red wine. Usually, or originally, when I learned this recipe, it calls for brandy, but let's be real. Who has brandy lying around at home, right? So I don't, so I'm gonna use wine. And then I'm gonna use some Parmesan cheese. If you guys go to the Mexican markets or even the dollar store, I found this at the dollar store. They have this really good, and it's called Lia Maria, shredded fresh Parmesan cheese. So good. I love this for like my pastas and my Italian dishes. This is obviously not an Italian dish, but I feel like it's like a real salty cheese. So that's kind of what I want for my enchiladas. And of course I am gonna mix like a Mexican fiesta blend, you know. Guys, on the real, like, who has time to shred cheese and cut vegetables and stuff? So half of the time I get my stuff already diced. But in this case, like the onion, I'm gonna do it myself because I want bigger chunks. So let's start off by chopping the veggies. I'm not gonna make too many because Juan and Robbie don't really care for these shrimp enchiladas, but I've been craving them lately. I originally just washed my veggie. Let me get a paper towel. I have my phone on the paper towel roll stand, so I can't pull it. But when I first learned this recipe, it was from the Hard Rock, because I used to work at the Hard Rock. That's where Juan and I met, as most of you know. And they're actually Chipotle brandy sauce shrimp enchiladas. We'd sell a lot of them like around Passover time, Easter time, you know, because you can't eat meat on Fridays. But like I said before, I don't have brandy, so I'm using red wine. We'll see how they turn out. I'm sure they'll be good. So I'm just gonna just roughly chop my veggies because I want big chunks. I didn't get a lot of shrimp this time because it was just gonna be for me, but I do like my enchiladas. If I'm gonna put stuff in them other than cheese, I want them to have some kind of a, you know, chunk or bite or whatever you say. So I'm doing my onions pretty big. Again, the original recipe doesn't call for onions, it calls for shallots, but nobody knows. This is my original recipe, okay? And I love onions. I know there's a lot of people that don't, but I love me some onions. And I love that when you cook them, they're almost like sweet. They're not really bitter or tangy or whatever. They're sweet. So I love onions. And then I'll throw in my spinach towards the end because I don't want it to be super, super wilty. So I'll throw it in at the end. So the first thing that I'm going to do is, and this is probably the only place I'll pause it because I don't want to have to walk with the camera back and forth to the stove, which is back here. So what I'll probably do is show you in my pan here what I'm gonna put in the pan and how I'm gonna cook it. And then once I'm able to get the camera over there, I will do it. And then I'll just transition it really easily. Like instead of editing, like cut wherever I want, I'll just like stop and then transition to where I'm at. So first thing we're gonna do is we're going to reduce or cook the onion in a little bit of butter. I'm just gonna do a little chunk of butter and then I'm gonna cook it in the pan. And then once they start getting nice and cooked, then I can add my chipotle peppers. But like I said, I'll show you step by step. I just wanted to discuss this video is not gonna be perfect and pretty, and it's probably just me that cares about that. But yeah, so I just wanna show you the basics so you guys can create this recipe, which is super yummy, especially for like Fridays when you want to eat seafood and you can't have meat or whatever. Okay, so all right, be back. Okay, so I am sizzling my bell peppers and my onions in that little bit of butter, and I really want them to cook down, break down, cook, because I want to I want to pour a little bit of the wine in here to reduce it and get all those bits off of the pan that the veggies create. So then that'll be like the base of my sauce once I add the cream to it. You guys like seafood and enchiladas? This is really the bomb. I'm not a big fan of chipotle peppers, to be honest with you. I'm not a big fan of the smoky taste, but for some reason this recipe really grows on you. Really good. Alright, so I'm probably going to cover them and let them cook for a little bit, and then I'll check back in with you. Yep, we dance in this house, that's for sure. So bright. Okay, so it's almost time to throw that wine in there, so this will reduce. Smelling yummy. Okay, look at my mess over here. So I got my tortillas, my shrimp, my chipotle peppers, but for now, this is what I need. Okay. Try and open this bottle with one hand. Sorry guys. See what I mean? When you see an edited video, it's all pretty and you missed all the parts where people are like dropping crap, but it just takes a long time. Okay, so yum. See, this lifts all the flavors off the pan. Now I'm going to add the chipotle peppers and the cream. I'm actually going to add a little bit more wine because I waited too long and it fully absorbed the wine again. So I'm going to add a little bit more wine and then I'll add the cream. Okay, here I go with the cream. And I'll mix it up. See how my pan turns? Because I'm only using one hand. Okay, at this point you want to season your sauce. So salt, pepper, put a little bit of garlic powder in there too. If you need it to be a little thicker, you can always add more cream to it. Okay, now I'm adding my shrimp to it. Shrimp cooks really fast, so that's why I'm adding it now. Sorry guys, trying to do this with one hand is certainly a feat. Okay. So I'll just let it cook, at least till the shrimp is nice and cooked. Then I'm gonna drain a little bit of the liquid because I want to pour it over my enchiladas. Because you know, the best part about enchiladas is when they're nice and soggy and the tortilla is literally like creamy. Because when you have a lot of restaurants, like, dude, maybe I'm just super picky, but a lot of restaurants when you go and have enchiladas, they're like crusty and dry, and that's just horrible. Like, enchiladas are a soaked tortilla with filling, so it should be nice and soggy and filled with sauce, in my opinion. So I'm gonna cover this and let it cook. Let it cook the shrimp. But it's already tasting good. Okay, well, the shrimp is cooking back there. One thing I want to say, I use the canned Chipotle peppers. I think they're the best. But if you don't like a lot of spice, I literally almost used the whole can. I used a third. No, I used 3/4 of it. But if you do not want too spicy, use 1 pepper, 2 peppers, and maybe use the, or just use the sauce inside, you know, to give it that smoky flavor. You don't have to use the whole can. And I'm sorry, I think I'm looking over here because I'm trying to look at my screen and make sure I'm in frame. But whatever. And then your tortillas, you definitely want to warm them up, because if you, I mean, I picked my pretty tortillas, but if I were to roll this up right now, it would crack, it would break. So you have to warm them up before you make any kind of enchiladas. It doesn't matter if you're gonna make them in the oven or whatever. In the easy way, you just, literally, you just throw them in the microwave with a Ziploc bag and a couple drops of water, and it'll steam them right up. I'm gonna do it the old-fashioned way, just on my skillet, because it's really just 5. That's pretty much all I'm making. And then at the very end, like I said, close to the very end, I'm gonna add my spinach because I don't want it to get super, super soggy. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I saved a couple of shrimp just to kind of use it as garnish, and I'm gonna kind of cook them at the end, just sear them in the pan. But meanwhile, while that's cooking, I'm gonna heat up my tortillas and have them ready. Now, after I heat up my tortillas on the skillet, just like warm them up to where they're like really, really, really soft, I'll probably drag them through the enchilada sauce, just so they can get a little soggier. And like I said, don't have those crispy, crusty ends, dry ends, because that's not what an enchilada is about to me. But so yeah, I'll kind of put them in the sauce, and then I'll drag them out, put them on the plate, and then once my filling is ready, I'll put it in here with cheese, of course, and then I can always broil them in the oven and just finish them up. But I'll walk you through all of this. I'm just kind of like, you know, I have time since I'm waiting for the shrimp to be cooked. But yeah, let me work on that, and then I'll be back. Look how yummy, guys. So this is what the filling and the sauce is looking like. It's getting nice and thick. So once my tortillas are, actually I'm gonna add the spinach now, and then once the filling is nice and done, I'm going to fill my warm tortillas with the sauce. I'll just dredge them in here, like just dredge them like I'm dredging the spatula like this. I'll put them on a parchment paper lined baking sheet because I want to melt the cheese in the oven. So you're gonna put it in the oven for like, I don't know, 2-3 minutes until the cheese is melted. So I'm gonna add the spinach right about now. Okay guys, so here's my dredged tortilla. All I'm gonna do for the 5 tortillas that I'm gonna make, all I'm gonna do is add some of this filling and some cheese on top of the filling, and then roll it up. And then just make my little rolls right here, top it with the cheese, some more cheese, and then put it in the broiler for like 3 minutes, or at least until it's melting. Okay, so I'm gonna work on that, and then I'll show you once I have them all lined up what it looks like. Okay, so here's 3 so far. I'm gonna show you how I rolled them up. So that's why I kind of lined them up here. Obviously my hands are clean. But see what I mean? Like the tortilla is nice and saucy. Let me, I'm gonna get my other tortilla. So here's what my tortilla looks like with the filling on there. So I'm just gonna add some cheese, of course, a little bit of that salty Parmesan, so good. And then some of my Mexican cheese blend. And then you just kind of want to softly roll it up because the tortilla is super delicate once you put it in the sauce. So you want to roll it face down like this. It's great to do it on parchment paper because it's an easy cleanup, and parchment paper can go in the oven, so it's not going to burn or anything. Well, the edges might, but... So that one, there's always an ugly one. That's the ugly one. It's on the end. So I got to make 7 enchiladas out of that one pan, okay? Washing my hands real quick. And then, of course, you want to top them with cheese. Okay? So I am going to use the Mexican cheese first. By the way, I'm not a big fan of the yellow cheese, but this is what I got for some reason. And this is wild cheddar. Oh, it's the wild cheddar. Cheddar, queso quesadilla, acedero cheese, and Monterey cheese, jack cheese. Of course, all those are melty cheeses, so that's what you want for enchiladas. I'm just gonna top them with some of these cheeses. Like this. And then I'll add some Parmesan on top because it's so salty. I love this cheese. In Mexico, well, my parents are from Chihuahua and from Jalisco or Guadalajara. And when we would go every summer to Guadalajara, my parents would send us for 3 months. And we would cringe at the cheese because it stunk so bad. But now, as an adult, I'm like, oh man, I wish I could have some of that cheese. So funny how the things that you hate as a kid, you love as an adult. Okay, so there are my beautiful Chipotle shrimp enchiladas. I'm gonna toss them in the oven. Meanwhile, I am going to just kind of skillet or cook my garnish, which is these whole shrimp. And then maybe cut up a little bit of cilantro or parsley just for color on top of my enchiladas. Okay, so give me a second to get myself. They are so good. I can't wait for you guys to try this. Let me know if you did, if you liked them, if they're yummy. Gotta go eat now. Thanks again for watching, you guys. Okay, last tip I'm gonna give you. All your leftover enchiladas, see how they're gonna be a little dry because they've been out. Put them in that pan where you had your sauce in. Store them. Tomorrow when you want to heat them up, add a little bit of water to the pan, cover it. It will steam the enchiladas, make the sauce again, and they'll be ready. So good. So good.